All right, begin.
What's going on, y'all? Ain't shit going on over here. I hope everybody is happy and healthy today. That's the most important thing. Now, before we go any further, I want to ask you guys a favor. If you don't mind, go ahead and punch that like button and also smash that share button so we can get this channel recognized. And if you're on Instagram, go ahead and give me a follow over there at NCToughTV so that we can stay connected. Now, with all of that said, let's go ahead and get down to business. Wanda Sykes. Man, am I disappointed in her. But hey, given her history, it's not a surprise. And Amy Shumer, yeah, we knew you were a Karen deep inside, right? You know what I'm saying? It was just a matter of time. So guys, I want to talk about this situation real quick. I know that you guys are tired of talking about the Will Smith and Chris Rock altercation, but I just had to come on here and just talk about this situation yet again. So you have Wanda Sykes that went on Ellen and basically said that she was traumatized by the situation that transpired at the Oscars between Will and Chris Rock. Take a listen.
And then someone showed me on a video, it was like, yeah, he smacked Chris. And I just felt so awful for my friend, you know, Chris. And it was sickening. It was absolutely, I physically felt ill. And I'm still a little traumatized by it.
Me too.
Now, I find it extremely laughable that Wanda would carry her bird nest headed ass on the Ellen show and say that she's still a little bit traumatized. And yes, I said bird nest headed ass. Listen, let me tell you something. I don't protect people who pander to those folks now. It is what it is. If you get an attitude about what I just said, then that's on you. Moving right along. And so I find it extremely hypocritical on the part of Ellen that she would be in agreement with Wanda. Listen. People have their opinions and things of that nature. You're entitled to that. But the fact that Ellen has former employees out here suing her out the wazoo for the way that she traumatized them is extremely hypocritical in my opinion. Because there were reports stating that Ellen was telling her staff members, hey, you can't even look at me in my eyes. You know, how dehumanizing is that to tell another person that works for you that they can't make eye contact with you? Now, if I'm keeping it all the way 100, family, the one thing that Wanda should be traumatized by is her own marriage. Now, someone on Twitter reminded me of this. I had forgot all about this. Let's take a look at it. So Kiana says Wanda Sykes didn't even want to have children that would have the same hue as her because she said her wife wouldn't know how to do their hair. So they chose a W gravy donor. The woman literally said she's a minority in her own home. And so I paraphrase that. I'm pretty sure you guys can read what it actually says. But yeah, I had forgot all about that. And what's crazy about this situation is the fact that Wanda married a WP and she still ain't reaping the benefits of it. Brown here crying and blowing snot and boo-hooing, talking about you not getting paid what you think you're worth in the industry, right? Because if you guys can remember, when Monique came out and said that she was suing Netflix because they only offered her $500,000, Wanda followed up and said, yo, there's some truth and validity to Monique's story because Netflix only offered her $250,000. And so marrying a WP, even though there's nothing wrong with that, didn't afford you any of her privilege, did it? Because deep down inside, I partially believe that that's why you married her, because you thought that it would give you a spike in your career, and it didn't happen. Do me a favor, Wanda, why don't you give your jokes to your wife and let your wife present it to Netflix, and I bet you she would get offered more than $250,000. You know why? Just look at her. Now, Amy Shumer, Lord have mercy. These people do not know how to stay in their lane, do they? They don't. So this is the thing, right? Let's talk about this first. So Amy took to her Instagram and she talked about how she was so traumatized about what transpired at the Oscars too. And then she deleted the post, but I have what she initially posted here. So Miss Piggy says, I think we can all agree that the best way to unpack what happened is to stream my series, and I'm not even going to mention your series because it smells like mayonnaise, and see me on tour this fall. But for real, still triggered and traumatized. I love my friend at Chris Rock, and I believe he handled it like a pro. Stayed up there and gave an Oscar to his friend at Questlove, and the whole thing was so disturbing. So much pain in at Will Smith. Anyway, I'm still in shock and stunned and sad. I'm proud of myself and my co-host, but yeah, waiting for this sickening feeling to go away from what we all witnessed. Now, I told you guys that she ran and she took this down with the quickness. Now, this is the thing about the whole situation, right? So Amy Shumer, right? She could have found herself in a similar situation the same night, right, of the Oscars because she did something very disrespectful. I want you guys to take a look at this.
So what the seat fillers do, I hear you, seat fillers. I'll just explain what you do. So when you get up to go to the bathroom, or if you're going to cry because you didn't win, oh my God. Actually, you know what? Let me just show you what the seat fillers do. Okay, here's a seat filler. Can we get you up, honey? You want to go to the bathroom? Okay. Let's just get you. Thank you, seat fillers. Love them. Jesse, I love doing Power of the Dog.
You know that was my wife, Amy?
You're married to that seat filler? Oh, that's weird.
All right, so you guys saw that, and you saw the look on Jesse Plemons' face. He looked like he was upset. He really did. You had the audacity to put your hands on his wife, Kirsten Dunst, and basically remove her out of her seat just to make a joke. I'm telling y'all, these comics are going too far. But you so traumatized, and you out here doing disrespectful shit too. Now listen, I know that what she did wasn't to the magnitude of what Will did to Chris, but still, at the end of the day, you don't have the right to put your hands on nobody. And she put her hands on that man's wife. But anyway, moving right along. So somebody else that need to mind their business, and I could not believe that this person would come out his mouth and say anything. As a matter of fact, it was so disturbing that it traumatized me. Because this dude allegedly picked off this woman on a movie set, and he's out here running his mouth talking about the Oscars and what happened. Y'all, let me read to you what Alec Baldwin had to say about the Will Smith incident. He says, I'm not reading much about how or even if the producers attended to Chris, but I love you at Chris Rock, and I'm sorry the Oscars turned into the Jerry Springer show. Sir, you have a man that's mourning the loss of his wife and a young boy that's mourning the loss of his mother, and you have the nerve to come on your platform to talk about what happened between Will and Chris. You are being sued to the 10th power by Helena Hutchinson's family for being reckless on set. And allegedly they're saying that what you were doing on set wasn't even called for. It wasn't in the script. So you need to pay attention, right, to what's going on in your life and what matters the most, because your future is in jeopardy. Your freedom is in jeopardy. And right now you should be spending time with your wife and kids, hugging your wife, hugging your kids, kissing your wife, because guess what? In the next couple of years, you could be behind bars for a very long time. But anyway, let's move along from this strumpet. Now, it was reported on yesterday that Will Smith refused to leave the Oscars after being told to leave. And also, there were 66 FCC complaints. And we all know where the majority of those complaints came from, right? Right. So this is the thing. There's some conflicting reports that came out. So yesterday, TMZ reported that Will Packer was responsible for Will Smith staying at the Oscars. It says here, we're told Will was aware there was talk about asking him to leave the theater. During one of the commercial breaks, we're told Oscars producer Will Packer and an Academy official walked up to Will and said, "We do not want you to leave." This according to our sources. So now Will Packer is singing a different tune. He's saying that he was going off of what Chris Rock felt. That Chris Rock didn't want Will Smith to leave the venue and things of that nature, but Chris Rock and his team is saying that that's a lie. And so what I want to do here is play you guys a portion of what Will Packer had to say on GMA.
It sounds like Chris Rock had the ability, the option, to have the LAPD go arrest and remove Will Smith from that theater that night.
That's an absolute fact. The LAPD made it clear, we will do whatever you want us to do, and one of the options is that we will go and arrest him right now. I thought it was a bit. I thought it was a bit like everybody else. I knew we hadn't practiced it.
Not concerned.
I wasn't concerned at all.
As he's walking.
I figured, okay, you know, he's going to say something or come at him. Something funny is going to happen because that's the nature of Chris and that's the nature of Will. So let's see what happens. And I immediately go up to Chris.
And you say what or you do what?
I said, did he really hit you? And he looked at me and he goes, yeah. He goes, I just took a punch from Muhammad Ali, as only Chris can. He was immediately, you know, in joke mode, but you could tell that he was very much still in shock.
What was the conversation behind the scenes?
It happened to be right before the Best Actor Award. Shayla told me that they were about to physically remove Will Smith. And I had not been a part of those conversations. And so I immediately went to the Academy leadership that was on site and I said, Chris Rock doesn't want that. I said, Rock has made it clear that he does not want to make a bad situation worse. That was Chris's energy. His tone was not retaliatory. His tone was not aggressive and angry. And so I was advocating what Rock wanted in that time, which was not to physically remove Will Smith at that time, because as it has now been explained to me, that was the only option at that point. It has been explained to me that there was a conversation that I was not a part of to ask him to voluntarily leave.
And so it says here, Packer said it was Chris who said he did not want Will removed from the Dobley Theater. Sources close to Chris tell TMZ that was never said. As one source put it, Chris told Packer, "I'm not pressing charges. All I want to do is leave." He was never asked if he wanted Will removed. This is the Academy covering itself. An Academy source tells TMZ. Will Packer is not speaking on behalf of the Academy. All right, this is about to be a hot mess because everybody is starting to point fingers here and there and everywhere. So it sounds like to me that Will Packer is ultimately trying to cover his because I believe that Will is responsible for letting Will Smith stay. I believe that he didn't want to mess up Will Smith's moment of receiving his first Oscar. And let's be honest, Will Smith should have already received an Oscar, right? He's had so many memorable performances and so many legendary performances. He should have already won one. And so you have Will Packer in this conflicting position, right? You know, he went and checked on Chris. He talked to Chris. Chris didn't want to press charges and things of that nature. You know, he asked if Chris was okay. You know, at least he did check on the brother. But at the end of the day, it was Will Packer, in my estimation, who pushed for Will to stay. Now, let me say this. I understand where Will Packer is coming from, because if Chris is saying that he doesn't want to press charges, then that means that he doesn't have a problem with Will staying, right? Even though, you know, you didn't directly communicate that question to him. If you don't want to press charges against the man and Will could have got arrested right then and there on the spot, then that means that you don't have a problem with the man staying. So I can see how Will just, you know, took that and just said, hey, yo, we're going to let Will stay. But I understand where Chris is coming from, too, because even though he didn't want to press charges against Will, he may have wanted him removed, you know, on that particular night. You know what I'm saying? He may not wanted the brother to get locked up and things of that nature, but it seems that Will Packer was like basically saying, hey, man, I'm sorry you got slapped, but we still going to give Will Smith his Oscar. Let's just keep it all the way real. That's what it sounds like to me. But anyway, I want you to drop down in the comments and let me know, what does this sound like to you? All right, let me know in the comments about everything that I talked about. You know what I'm saying? Let me know your true thoughts and feelings. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll get with you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.